Bien bonjour everyone, welcome back to my channel, long time no see! A lot of stuff going on in my life, rock is not really a priority and I don't really have the willpower to make rock YouTube videos. Anyway, there are much bigger YouTubers doing overall a good job, but not for ARP, not for archers. There is a lot of misconceptions spread regarding archers and a lot of misinformation spread regarding ARP. So, thought to myself, yeah, someone gotta clean that mess, and well, might as well be me. So here I am. With that said, before talking about ARP, I want quickly to come back on Queen and Zhuge because you need to have some knowledge that is not well known, sadly. So quickly on Queen, first bullet point. He works of rage consume, everyone knows that. What is a lot less known is that he can consume the rage gain on the current turn, and the rage cap is applied after the rage is consumed. This is very important, and in case you don't really realize what that means, basically consider that he ignores the rage cap, basically. Second bullet point, Zhuge is a must-be primary. This is so unknown that this baffled me. Like, I made a video proving it 2 years ago, or actually proving that the fourth skill's description was garbage. I realized that 1 year ago, the Lilith actually updated the skill description to clearly say when the secondary commander uses their active skill. So I do not know when this occurred. It was somewhere between my videos released on 1 year ago. So yeah, there was a 1 year time window where it could have occurred. I don't know when it was. Bonus bullet points. Zhuge can be a secondary only to Queen because, as I said, Queen basically ignores the rage cap. So this works. If you want to understand more why this implies that Zhuge must be a primary, well, go watch my Zhuge video, even if it's a bit long. Or just read this skill and think for a moment. That video is going to be long enough, so if I talk for 10 minutes about Zhuge, we are here for an hour. Let's go back to ARP with that said. So I'm gonna start with a thing I don't really like. It's bashing people. I'm gonna bash, well, let's just say the name, Chatsky. Chatsky is a big fat liar and he knows it. He made a video spreading lies regarding the active skill, claiming that the Lion's Soul effect is AoE. This is not AoE. He knows it and he perfectly knows that he lied. He even has the audacity to put the videotape proving that he clearly lied on screen during the video. So, with that said, let's just read the skill. The skill description is good and reliable, for once. It's not always the case with Lilith, but here the skill is reliable. So, deal 2000 damage factor, kinda low, actually very low, but you also gain the Lion's Soul effect for 10 seconds. So, a 10-second buffs basically means you will have it up all the time. So it's really only a 2000 damage factor. What does the Lion's Soul effect do? Well, every 3 seconds you have a 100% chance to apply a stack of Pierced on the target. What does Pierce do? Well, it's a 100 damage factor for 5 seconds. So that's 500 damage factor. You can stack it up to 3 times and the duration resets. So an upward of 1500 damage factor on it every 3 seconds. Well, if you apply it on the same target over and over again, it's only 3 times 3, so 900 damage factor. But whatever. That damage is going to be very unreliable, and you will see it as we talk more about the commander. I'm going to jump right to the third skill. I'm going to skip the second because it's very important. This is the most contentious skill. This is a big wall of text. Before reading it, I'm going to try to simplify it. So I'm first going to read that very specific part and that very specific part and not explain that big wall of text and that other big wall of text. So first, for every 5 instances of debuff you inflict, you're going to gain the benevolence effect. Benevolence effect later on, and here for 5 buffs you provide, you gain the malevolence effect. So before going further on what does benevolence and malevolence, I'm going to jump to the expertise, and you will understand why. Sorry if you think that's confusing, it's The purpose is to make it simpler to understand. That big wall of text basically reads, whenever you inflict a debuff, you inflict another debuff. Yes, that's basically it. The other debuff is very weak. It's only 5% defense that can stack up to 2 times, so that's 10% debuff, defense debuff. This is very little. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that whenever you inflict a debuff, you apply a second debuff. What does it do? Well, suddenly you do not need 5 debuffs, you need only 3, because the first you're gonna apply a second one, so suddenly with 1 you're actually at 2, and the second debuff you apply, that is then the third debuff, will apply a 4th. So you only need a third applied debuff to gain the benevolence effect. And the second part is actually the same. Whenever you heal or buff, you apply a buff. Very easily. So yeah, whenever you buff, you buff. So same goes for the malevolence part. You only need 3 buffs, truly, to have that buff. So what does it lead to? Well, you will have those stuff up all the time, and that regardless of the march you're running, of the commander pairing. Alp is self-sustainable regarding his kit. He needs no one. You can pair him with, I don't know, with Tomoe, and he will work just fine. I mean, his whole kit will work. He doesn't need help, and this will be very important for the pairing part that we will do at the end of the video. It doesn't need help, so when you make the pairing, you need to think, can he help someone? And obviously it's going to be Airman, okay? Spoiler alert, it's going to be Airman. Basically, only Airman can benefit from him. With that said, let's go back to the two-headed skill. Yeah, benevolence. People overrate that skill. This is tremendously overrated. Okay? Because, well, first of all, it's only a 50% chance to spread debuffs on the target, only 2 debuffs of your targets to 3 nearby enemies. The issue is that the cooldown is of 4 seconds. That's a very long cooldown, especially when you're considering that... oh yeah, sorry. I remember a little. When I saw the teasing for the skills, I thought to myself, okay, that commander is very easy to understand. Only a few things that we do not know is how does that spread is gonna work. Is there a priority regarding what is gonna be spread? Like, is Pierce prioritized over poison, and poison over slows, and slows over debuffs, or not? Or yeah, is there an order? People ask support. Support say no, it's entirely random. I do not trust the support. Never trust the support. Test it for yourself. I generated a ton of reports. I couldn't find a pattern, so it seems that it is actually truly random. Which blows. This is a terrible thing for a commander. More on that later. The other thing I was wondering is, whenever you spread the debuff, do you spread it for the full duration as if it was applied, just newly applied by the source commander, or do you spread it with only the remaining duration? After the test, it's very easy to see that it's the remaining duration. So let's just pick Pierce. Pierce lasts for 5 seconds, but if you spread it when there is only 2 seconds left, you spread it for 2 seconds remaining, which again blows for that commander. This is very subtle. That part was expected. This would require a lot of calculation on the server if you were to recalculate. Okay, so where does the debuff come from? Okay, it comes from a Zhuge-Liang. Okay, Zhuge-Liang has the skill at that skill level, so the debuff is that. Yeah, it would be too much. It would be way too much. Sorry. So it was expected that it would only spread it as it is. And lastly, does it for stacking debuffs like Pierce and Poison? Does it spread 1 stack or the full stack? And here, finally, a dim light for ARP, it spreads the whole stack. So if you have 15 poison stack of the target and you spread it, yes, you are going to spread 15 times 3 Poison stack. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot. So finally, a good point for him. So that basically was the 3 points I was asking to myself when we had the teasing for the commander. And because there is no priority on the spread, that leaves that commander is not as good as people think he is. A lot of the tests that you saw were ARP versus ARP in 1v1s or ARP in 1vx, well, actually in 1v1 but with targets nearby to spread the things. When you do that in a 1v1, well, there is very little debuffs. If you pair him with Herman, we'll have Pierced, Poison, the debuff, the defense reduction from the expertise, and Herman's defense reduction. So that's 4 debuff. And already, that means you only have a 50% chance to spread the Pierce. And that's very, very low. That's already too low. But whenever you bring in other marches, like Queen and Zhuge has a debuff. Whenever you bring in, I don't know, I mean, there is so many debuffs running around in the game. Like, if you are still running 2 Inf marches, you are likely running Sun Tzu Prime with BQ, but mainly CPO with LC, and suddenly you have a Health debuff too now. So yeah, there are debuffs everywhere. I think, let me see, just to be sure, I think LC has a defense reduction somewhere. Doesn't he? No, he doesn't. I thought he did. Well, never mind. Okay, whatever. There are debuffs everywhere. So your odds of spreading Pierce, or maybe even Poison, is low as hell. This is very, very low. Because of that, that skill is overrated as hell. You are not gonna deal 1,500 damage on your main target and spread it every single time for an upwards of 4,500 on 3 different targets. This is not gonna happen. Well, first of all, because you're not spreading for the full duration, but only for the remaining duration. First of all, same goes for the poison stack. By the way, it's only spread for the remaining duration. But also because, well, you are unlikely to spread it. So yeah, that skill is overrated by a huge margin. Regarding the second part, Malevolence effects, it was a very long one, okay? Very quickly on Benevolence. No, Malevolence. Yeah, you're gonna heal yourself. This is nice. I've been chaining with him for a while. So yeah, I kicked a lot. I had a lot of reports, I kicked them all, but yeah, you are self-sustainable. At least in Home Kingdom, this is enough healing to be chaining forever, basically. So yeah, in PvP it's not very meaningful. This is gonna be too low to really matter, but yeah, it's there, it's nice, okay, it's something. So yeah, as I said, Benevolence is overrated. Like, this is RNGL, okay? If you're lucky and you constantly spread Pierce, yeah, good for you, you are very lucky. You're gonna do great, but truth is, it's not gonna happen a lot. Actually, what is strong is the 4th skill. The 4th skill actually deals damage on a pretty neat amount. Whenever you cast an active skill, so there's both primary and the secondary, there is no cooldown, so yeah, as I said, there is a lot of debuffs on the target, so yeah, I am confident saying, yeah, you will constantly deal 1,000 extra damage every active skill. So that's 2,000 active damage factor per skill cycle. That's a lot. Suddenly, you turn a 2,000 into a 4,000. 4,000 still on target. That's decent. Now we're talking. We have a new hero. Like, if hero is still sort of usable, that dude is perfectly usable because he has more damage factor as a single target, but he has utility. He has some debuff spread, even if it's not very as strong as people thought it was. Well, it's still something. It's still something. If you spread Zhuge Liang's debuff, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. You cannot spread Zhuge Liang's debuff. Sorry. Sorry for mentioning that one. That was a bad example. Whatever. Yeah, you have a very high target, single target commander with utility. Okay, he provides some buffs that can trigger a few things. He applies debuffs. I mean, even if they're not very impactful, they add up, and suddenly you have a decently high utility commander. Regarding the second part, again, whenever you deal skill damage, you have a 50% chance to take 10% less damage for 3 seconds, no cooldown. You will be applying to yourself that buff all the time, because it's skill damage. Skill damage is direct damage and additional damage. It's written here. So, because you have the pierce going on, plus your active skills, plural, yeah, this will be up all the time, which means you will be constantly applying to yourself the defense in AoE, and constantly have the malevolence effect on yourself. So you have actually a very tanky commander. He's quite tanky. Yeah, he takes 10% less damage all the time. He stacks an upward of 10% defense on himself, plus 10% defense on your nearby marches. And nice transition, let's back to the second skill, the static skill. He also has 20% health. Yeah, he is very tanky. He is very tanky. Sorry. Yeah, so now that we're here, 25% health, 15% attack, 25% march speed, very nice stat spread. On top of it, you have 10% bonus healing, kinda inconsequential. The only part that needs talking is that part. Upon entering combat for 10 seconds, you basically have a nerfed quote-unquote Lion Soul effect, okay? 50% chance every 5 seconds to apply 1 stack of Pierce. It's a bit weaker than Lion Soul, because Lion Soul is 100% chance every 3 seconds. Okay, it's just, yeah, a nerfed Lion Soul effect. But it allows you to have very quickly your two-headed eagle benevolence running, because on average you should be able to inflict 2 stacks of Pierce before your first skill cycle, which means you're already at 4 instances of debuff thanks to the expertise. So you only need 1 more debuff to start to have benevolence running up and running. And if you're lucky, and let's say you're running with Airman Prime, if Airman procs is 10% chance of AoE poison, well, you already have benevolence running before you even cast your active skill, and suddenly you will have a good time, a decent time. Okay, so I said he's self-sustainable. If he's running with Airman, you have a small chance of him being slightly better, because you will already have benevolence whenever you start applying Pierce at a very fast pace. But it doesn't really matter, because as soon as you cast your active skill, the very next turn you're gonna apply a stack of Pierce, so the very next turn you already have benevolence running, and you're ready to start spreading poison. But if you're unlucky, your target won't even have three stacks. There is a world where, yeah, your target do not have 3 stacks at that very specific moment, basically 3 turns after your active skill. That's very sad. So, yeah, I think we said it all. I'm just gonna quickly, because this is not a math video if there is no spreadsheet. So here I am. So if you watch my previous video, this is very easy. I just picked, yeah, took my Queen's spreadsheet, a part of it actually, and I took the damage of the biggest damaging commanders per troop type. It's a bit old, so I added Chill here. Yeah, BQ has a big damage factor. Zhuge has a big damage factor. Big damage factor is here. Yeah, it's with the 4th skill. Arthur, again, big damage factor, and here it's with the expertise. So R is actually RNG L, so his active skill is a straight up 2000. Parthian shot is an extra 2000, so that's 4000. If you are lucky, luckiest man in the world, you have your target at 3 stacks, you reapply a new stack so that the duration is reset to 5 seconds, and at that very specific turn, you spread it. That's an extra 6k, for a grand total of 8000, but truth be told, this is very unreliable. This is not gonna occur. This is like, just play the lottery, and you're gonna be using your luck in a better way. Okay, realistically, that commander is gonna have 4000 plus a few extra here and there. I don't want to say it's 0 because it's not going to be 0. It's going to be, it's there. It's not inconsequential. This is meaningless, but the upward is 8,000. Just see, those commanders are reliably near that number. Regarding Achilles, that's just the active skill. That's the active skill on a fully stacked pierce target. Wait, is it 5 target times 3? 5% times 3? I think I'm wrong here. Isn't it only 2 stacks? Where is he? Am I tired? Yeah, 3 times. Never mind. Yeah, I'll say 15% extra. Wonderful. Oh, well, we are here. I'm going to talk a bit more about ARP. So yeah, not very damaging. I just want to showcase a few things. I look at a lot of reports, but actually what matters is what we see here. You see those nice little eagles, so that means that I have benevolence and malevolence running. And when you see that eagle crashing on your enemy is when you are spreading the debuffs. But the radius is very small, like from here to here maybe. The AoE is very, very small. I wish it was a bit bigger. And also, whenever you have the eagle landing on yourself, that's when you heal. So let's see again with a little less effect running up. So I heal myself, and here I spread the debuff. There is no one nearby to spread it, but yeah, you can see the procs with those eagles here, or landing on yourself. On the yellow thingy running around you is malevolence and benevolence. I couldn't notice a difference if you have only one or the other or both, sadly. And malevolence and benevolence, quite obviously, do not show in the battle logs. So yeah, wonderful. This is marvelous. By the way, I would just want to check something. Do I have a random battle report here? What is that? No, I want some... Yeah, wonderful. No, not that. I need a true battle report. Don't I have something from actual battle? I saved nothing? No, I saved nothing. Do I have an old thing? No, never mind. That's just me dunking on my farms for MGE. I have to save it just in case someone tried to do fancy things. No, I don't have it. I just wanted to prove that whenever you take a random round of a random target in a random ball fight, there will be tons of debuff on the target. Right? No, let's just pick that one. It's a one-on-one. I don't want a one-on-one. I want a ball fight, but let's just... No battle log, it's too old. Okay, never mind. Let's just pick that one. I'm going to pick middle one, battle log, a random turn, here. So here it's only 10% defense because I only have one march running, sorry. If you have several march everywhere, yeah, you're going to have so much stuff going on. Like, look at my buff bar. In a real ball fight, this is going to be the exact same for the debuff on the enemy. Like, you're going to have as many debuffs as you have buffs, basically. Like, this is crazy. Don't trust me, just go and watch. If you're in KVK and you have some reports laying around, just go and watch. You will see for yourself. So now that we are done with it, I'm gonna talk quickly about the pairings. I'm gonna go back here. Someone suggested, and I'm not gonna name drop because it was in good faith, and it's very, very helpful for actually. A very helpful guy, a very nice guy. Do not do ARP, Philip. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Don't do it, because ARP, active skill, when you remove the Lion's Soul effect, that it will be up all the time, whatever, with or without the double cast from Philip, is a mere 2,000. Well, with Power Shot, 3,000. Do you want to spread? Do you want to double cast a 3,000 period? Lion's Soul effects should be disregarded when we're talking about double casting things from Philip's expertise. Or do you want to cast a 5,000, a 6,500? What do you want to double cast? A 3,000 of those active skills? Sorry, here, Zugilan won't generate more for skill proc. Like, bro, no, don't pair him with ARP. The only archer commander, meta archer commander, and by meta I mean Queen, YSG, Herman, and Zhuge out of those 4, there is only one that is worthy of Philip's double cast, and it's Zhuge. Okay, if you want to bring in 3 Archer March, and you want Philip to be a part of it, which would be kind of wise because there is no 6 very good Archer commander, it's with Zhuge. You do Zhuge Philip. You sadly break up Queen and Zhuge and you put YSG instead, and you put Philip with Zhuge. That's it. One more thing regarding Alp and Philip. Let's go back. Let's go and check what Philip does on the 4th skill. Direct damage. Direct damage 800. Something I didn't mention. The heal is 20% of the damage factor whenever you deal direct or true damage, but the true damage part doesn't really matter. Do you want to heal 20% of, I don't know, 2000 or let's pick Zhuge for instance. Zhuge is 2002, or do you 2002 also, or do you want to heal 20% of a measly 800? Yeah, so you are, if you pair ARP with Philip, you are nerfing ARP's healing, and you are wasting the potential of the double cast. Like, yeah, this is crazy. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, regarding the marches, well, if you are running a single Archer march, like, no change here, it's always, for a long time, for the foreseeable future, it's gonna be Queen Zhuge. Even the KVK release Archer coming soon, quote-unquote soon, I think we will at least see the leadership release first, and maybe also the infantry release before we see the Archer. It's at least after the leadership and maybe after the infantry. I doubt that commander is going to be a better pair to Queen because they are just a match made in heaven. Go watch my Queen video if you really want to truly grasp how perfect those two are together. Yeah, on the teasing of the skills, well, unimpressive. Like, there was no way that ARP was going to replace Zhuge as a secondary to Queen. So if you go to up to 2 marches, you could break them apart and you do Queen YSG and Zhuge ARP. Zhuge is a must-be primary, and it's very sad that Cheesegul didn't test Zhuge primary with ARP secondary. Very quickly, if you do run Zhuge primary, he can use a very fancy talent build. Not that one, because I use him for chaining because it's always secondary for me. That's actually the best talent build for him. Yes, he do not need Rejuvenate. If you want to understand why, go watch my Zhuge video. That video is already long enough. What are we in? Yeah, almost 30 minutes, and we are not done. Let's go. The only change I would do is maybe drop a bit of Whistling Arrow to grab Razor Sharp. It's up to you. Why do I go here? Well, because there is 6% march speed. So yeah, it does not need Rejuvenate. Feral Nature is too expensive for that many points. Yeah, I'd much rather have 6% march speed that will maybe save my butt. Yeah, so you can do that. Queen YSG, Zhuge ARP. If you do have Herman, you can do you can keep Queen Zhuge and do ARP Herman. You really should be running ARP primary. Well, just because you can grab latent power that will buff the pierced thing. You also want a lot of rage. I mean, yeah, it's better. It's just overall better. And yeah, I'd rather have a little bit extra stat point here than some attack when I'm basically dead. This is useless. This is a terrible thing. I'd rather have less stat, but stat all the time. Whatever. So that's a talent build. Not really arguing around it. Yeah, maybe you could drop the points here and take 2 points of Naked Rage, but I think Naked Rage got nerfed too hard. So yeah, I said And yeah, obviously, if you want to go up to 3 marches, well, yeah, you're basically stuck with Queen YSG, Arp Herman, and Zhuge with Philip. I think that's basically it. There is no really other option. Maybe if you bring Asher Banipal, but yeah, maybe if you really don't want to spread Queen Zhuge we do Queen Zhuge Queen Zhuge Arp YSG. No, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, Arp YSG and Asher Banipal Philip maybe. Asher Banipal is a good contender for Philip's expertise, but yeah, I don't know. Not many people will have him. This is very specific case. Very briefly, I'm gonna talk about. I said earlier that yeah, ARP is self-sustainable. It doesn't really need a pairing to be 100% efficient. So we should think: can he help someone? Yeah, if he helps someone, it's Herman, because if you are lucky and you spread the poison, you're gonna spread a tremendous amount of poison. So you will basically almost instantly proc a Giving Back My Legion, basically a second active skill. So yeah, there is a lot of that happening, but if it does happen, that's nice. That's a 2000 damage factor, free target AoE that trigger. That's very neat. You're also helping your queen a lot, your queen's getting a lot with all those debuffs. So yeah, if you do not have Herman or do not have YSG, well, if you do not have both, you can. I don't mean, why would you go to 2 Archer marches? Just keep Queen Zhuge on that's it. If you have Herman but not YSG, or YSG but not Herman, just pair whichever one you have with ARP as secondary, and you will be nice. I mean, ARP should be the primary, and that will be nice. So yeah, how long was it? 32 minutes. Thank you for watching. This was very long. For yeah, I think a good reason. For once, there was a lot of stuff to say. Yeah, ARP looks very complicated because of those wall of text, but basically this is very easy to understand. This is very simple. This is big just because there was a lot of things. But, you can simplify this part with weaker Lion Soul effect. I massively simplified this. This is very easy, and I massively simplified this, and suddenly you have a commander that is a lot more easier to understand. Yes, he is not very damaging because you won't be dealing max pierce, okay? You're not gonna deal 0, but you're not gonna spread. I mean, even if you spread, it's actually only 3 times. So if you have a very lucky spread, this is an upward of 4,500 damage factor. On the luckiest spread of all, I mean, you need to spread that debuff, that very specific debuff, among 10 other debuffs to have that, and to spread it at the very round you just reapply it for the full duration. So the maximum you're going to do with a spread is 4,500, but more realistically it's going to be a lot less than this. It's going to be maybe 900, maybe 100 and 2,000. It's not that potent. But it's utility, and we love utility, and he has a lot of it. So yeah, if you already have Queen Zhuge Herman on YSG, you might consider skipping him if you do not have the heads for the upcoming releases. If you have only 3 archers and you want to run 2 archer marches, yeah, he is the better investment out of Herman, YSG, and ARP. He is a better investment. But if you already have the 4 mentioned before, you can skip him. Truthfully, you can skip him. Okay, and now we are almost at 35 minutes. That's more of a Matmata video. And now I can say thank you for watching. Maybe I will make more videos later down the line. I don't know if this one's gonna pop off. I don't really care, it doesn't really matter. I don't plan to leave off YouTube, that's not my plan. So again, thank you for watching. I'm Matmata, and see you maybe in the next one. I'm at least a lot active on the official Rock Discord. If you have questions about the game, and there are a lot of people very knowledgeable too here. So yeah, if you have questions, whether you're pairing, what you should do for your account, come and say hello here.